All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Just finna roll through the spirit with the precept. On my Sabbath, on the block. First precept I'm starting with is Psalms 105. Psalms 105, 42. Say, for he remembered his promise and Abraham his servant. 43. And he brought forth his people with joy and his chosen with gladness, and gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of the people. So when the Most High remembered his holy promise that he gave to Abraham, he didn't go look for all these nations and all these people, or just people that will have faith or something. He went to a specific group of people. He went to a specific bloodline, the children of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. He went to them. And he said, I'm going to read that verse again. He said, for he remembered his holy promise, and Abraham his servant. 43. And he brought forth his people with joy, and his chosen with gladness, and gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of the people. So not only did he go to the chosen, the children of Israel, he gave them heathens for slaves. And that's what he gonna do when he come the second time for the promise. Because he came one time with the promise and gave them the land of Canaan, the Canaanites, the Hamites. But this time he's coming to destroy most of the heathen and give them to the Israelites for an inheritance, slaves. And see, people get that verse misconstrued in Exodus. No, not Exodus, Genesis 28. See, they misunderstand that verse, but let's go back and look at that verse when it comes. Look at that verse, Genesis 28, chapter 28, verse 14. Genesis 28, verse 14, it say, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the south, and to the north. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. 15. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken unto thee. So this is how the blessing was given to them other nations. It wasn't going to be given to these other nations so they can go back to the land with the Israelites. No, the Israelites were scattered into all nations. That's how the other nations was blessed, because they enslaved the Israelites. The Israelites was slaves in all nations, blessing the other nations with their labor, being servants and handmaids to these other nations. So when you're talking about that holy promise, let me go to Romans 9 and let you know who the promise was for. The promise was for one set of children of Abraham, because Abraham had a lot of children. 9 verse 7, it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Verse 8, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. So when God thought about the promise that he gave to Abraham, he went and got the seed of Isaac, the children of Israel. Not only did he give the Israelites their promise, he gave the Edomites their promise. The so-called white man, the so-called red man, he gave them their promise too. That's why they're ruling the world right now, because that came from the promise of Abraham. You see, he didn't give this promise to everybody. Let's see. Now when you go to verse 4, he named a specific group of people who he was going to give this promise to. And I'm going to start at 3. He said, "For I wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh." So he talking about his family, who are Israelites. See, his family was Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the service of God, and the promises. So the promises was only pertaining to the Israelites. And so once he got to verse 9, he went into giving more details about this promise, because the promise went to the Israelites, but it also went to Esau, Jacob's brother. And see, that's the mystery that a lot of people don't understand. Now when you go to verse 11, it breaks it down even further. It says, "For the children not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the promise of God according to the election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth." Verse 12, "And it was said to her, the elder shall serve the younger." So the elder brother Esau was going to have to serve the younger, but he was going to get a blessing, and he got his blessing. Now his promised blessing is different than the promised blessing that was given to Jacob. And I'm gonna shoot back to Genesis and look at Esau's promised blessing. Chapter 27. Chapter 27 of Genesis, verse 30, starting with verse 39. "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be as the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above." Verse 40. "And by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou have had the dominion," that meaning the rulership, once he get the rulership, that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck. So it was going to come upon a time when Esau was going to get the total rulership of the earth, and Jacob wasn't going to be ruling anywhere. He was going to get the dominion over Jacob. And that goes into how his blessing started when Jacob went into Egypt with his children. Esau was already getting his blessing. When you look at Genesis 39, it say, Genesis 36, Salakia. "Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom." And Edom means red. Now when you go down to verse, starting at verse 6. "And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house, his cattle and all the beasts and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob." Now you see, Esau was also given the land of Canaan. You see, he was also in the land of Canaan right along with Jacob. But he goes on to say in verse 7, he says, for their riches were more than that they might dwell together. So both of them was already getting the blessing because they was becoming so rich, they had to separate. And the land therein, they were strangers, could not bear them because of their cattle. And so when you go shoot down to verse 30, not 31, it say, and these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. So they was already in their kingdom, living out their blessing, while the children of Israel was still in captivity to these stinking Egyptian Africans. So the promises went to Jacob and Esau that they would have rulership over the earth. Now you can see that in Hebrews. He tell you straight up. I think it's Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 20. He say, by faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau according to things to come. So Jacob and Esau got the promise that was given to Abraham, and they just had two different blessings. Now, when you go to the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it say Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the world afterwards. So they both was getting rulership, given rulership, or blessed with rulership over the earth, just in different orders. The eldest son got it first, and the youngest son was gonna get it after the eldest son, the rulership of the earth. And the eldest son will have to serve the youngest son after the youngest son served the eldest son. And that's how the promise went. And so the promise didn't go to Abraham's other sons. He had like 5 or 6 other children. Ishmael from the Egyptian lady and some other children from the other women. And the promise didn't go to them. The promise only went to Jacob and Esau, the so-called white man and the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And now the so-called white man is ruling. His rulership is going to be over, and the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is going to take over. And when they rule, they're going to rule forever. They're not going to have an end to their rulership. But just want to bring that out through the Spirit. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Kingdom is at hand. Shalom.